is probably because it's such a long interview, by the way.
Yeah.
I put it out in several episodes, but we were talking earlier, weren't we, about genre? And you were saying
Yeah.
about, how the elasticity of genre really, and not
Mm.
being stuck into one little bit of it, and being open to interpretation, with the visuals. Again, I think that's quite a nice creative process, isn't it?
And again, leads itself to the complication of what, where do we put it? But
Yeah,
like,
yeah, but in a nice way.
yeah, oh my God, I don't think I've got a choice. I've tried to. I found it difficult. Like I said, when I decided to not do this anymore, one of the difficulties I found with writing and producing for other people is that not all projects, I don't even want to say people, there's whole teams around these things, are particularly interested in experimentation, let's say,
Yeah.
which is fine. There's a sound and a genre and they want to stick to it, but I just get itchy feet. I always want to go like, but what else could it be?
Yeah.
Um, but film is an amazing way to express that. I love, by the way, I'm going to steal that from you, the elasticity of genre. That I love.
That's what it is, though, I think, kind of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Stretching it as far as it'll go. I love that.
yeah. Do you think moving forward, maybe you're already doing this, or are you going to be producing more videos for other acts? Is that part of what's going on, do you think, coming forward?
Um, I kind of got, but it's funny. I go through massive periods. The music, I had to learn a lot of lessons releasing another record after such a long time because the industry has changed so much.
Yeah.
Um, and now it's a game of content, And I, in the last 2 years, 3 years of making this visitor project, I've spent so much time just like editing little bits of video and trying to play that game. I'm not above whatever the industry is doing. I'll try and fit in to get my music heard, but that's all to say I feel just this real want to just write and record some songs on a piano and acoustic guitar and not make all the content, like even if it's just for me,
Yeah.
it's like it can feel so burnt out having to wear so many hats and suddenly be an expert on marketing, and
Yeah.
it's like you are expected to somehow be a kind of influencer if you want to be a musician. And I just come from a different time where it was just like the music, it was enough to be a musician, and I miss that.
So I've got two questions for you, which follow on the back of that, really. They're both quite big, but we'll try to go through them fairly succinctly, I suppose. I mean, talking about the future of music, right? I mean, in
Mm.
your case, you've given a fantastic story, really, of your experience in music and how you kind of stepped out of it, come back in, etc. How does and we talked about survival, you know,
Mm.
um, how do you see the kind of future of music and being a musician within the music industry of sort of, I don't know, should we say next 5 years or so, It's quite a challenging time, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. There's a lot of negatives and a lot of positives though, and the positives, and it's kind of things I always wanted, but didn't know how to do, which you can do now. And like I said before, I think the future of being a musician is self-sufficiency,
Mm,
and knowing that you, to some degree, have to be able to find your specific audience and grow that, and not try and I think the days are gone and should be gone of everyone is trying to be Beyonce and then falls short of that.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the key is to be able to sustain and make music and have a decent career, and that be enough. I don't like this idea that you're a superstar or you failed. I think that's incorrect. I think the best the music I love and the films I love often are, you have to discover them. And when I discover them, I become a supporter of what that artist is doing. So I think it's these things like Patreon and like these peer-to-peer, like I make a song, and if you're following me, maybe we could figure out a way to directly trade make that a transaction. And I hope that, and again, a positive I think is the removal of all this gatekeeping and the stuff in the middle, which actually stops artists from being able to release music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen so many and been in label situations where, and it's a story as old as time, is where suddenly they have decided that your product is not this, or it's too much that, and it will sit on a shelf forever because they own it, and then you're nowhere, and you that doesn't benefit the artist. So I think the future is much more of this straight to consumer, which isn't even a word I like using in this context, because I think it's about fostering relationships.
Yeah.
You know? And going straight to them. That's
Yeah.
that's the hope. You know, there's so much conversation around AI, and I just don't believe that anything, and you know, call this naive, I don't believe that anything can come in the way of, it's too tried and tested, the feeling of a song connecting with you by another human being. I think AI is an amazing tool, but I think that's all that it is.
So I'm glad you said that, because you may have already answered it, but you made that comment earlier, just when we were talking. I thought it was just a really interesting comment looking to the future, because you said people will always connect with great songs,
Mm.
and you hold with that moving forward. You think that's fairly safe hands, do you?
I have to. I do, and I have to. I think if Nina Simone released Feeling Good tomorrow, I think it would be an enormous success with or without a computer. I because it's just pure emotion and human connection, and no matter how far and I've used AI as a tool, and it was really useful. I'm not anti it at all. It can really help you dot the I's and cross the T's. But would I have it write my lyrics? Absolutely not, because I would feel I was being dishonest.
Yeah.
And I think it's still going to be a case of best idea wins. I think the real stuff will find its way to the top, and we'll be able to tell in 2 seconds what has been made by a computer, and it just won't feel the same. And I think it will just find its way as a tool, but I don't think it's going to destroy art. I don't think anything has the power to do that.
Okay, so that I hope you're right. Because the future of music is a worry, because I think the perception of music these days, we talked about earlier, it being everything's free, the commodity thing, the homogeneity kind of thing, everything's the same, everyone's buying the same thing. So I just really hope you're right there.
Me too. And like I said, I had, important for me to reiterate. It is what I believe, but it's what I have to believe.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Why would I go into the studio later today and pick up the guitar if I thought there was no point? It's like you just have to keep on, you know. And I do think, even if you end up playing a song for one person, it's that's, you know, like I said about the expectations thing. I think if you're starting as a young artist and you say, well, I want to be Ed Sheeran or nothing else, well, that's one, you know, I've been, like I said, I've been through 5 labels and released 4 albums and da 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 da, and I've seen that happen to 1% of people I've come near. And so I just think it's like manage your own expectations, and then you can achieve. And then if it goes crazy, then it's a bonus. But like, just to sustain and be able to do what you love, if that's the expectation, that is doable.
Well, but let's hold on to that thought, because that's a really nice way to conclude. Just wanted to, I don't know whether you do, seeing you're talking to me from Los Angeles, you know, and you're a Cardiff boy at heart, you know, any messages for those folks back home at all?
You know what? Yes, I was talking about this yesterday. I am so happy that the music is, you know, it's being played in Wales, and it's the song called Nature Mother is on the playlist at BBC Radio Wales, and that honestly means so much to me, because it can feel further away than 6,000 miles. You know, it's different. Like I said, it's even from a sense of humor thing, or there's like a salt of the earth thing that I really genuinely miss. You know, this conversation, we've been going for however long, and we could keep going. There's like a yeah, and so I just want to say, I really appreciate that the music is being played in Wales, because that's important to me. You know, I sampled Shirley Bassey last week. It's you know,
she got her award this week, didn't she?
Did she?
From the King, yeah.
That's overdue.
She's 87.
Whoa! Does she still sing?
I don't know. I'd imagine in her case, probably yes.
I watched someone. I was telling someone from the States who Shirley Bassey was, and they'd never heard of her. And I was like, "Well, you must have heard Diamonds Are Forever."
Yeah.
And they had, and I pulled up a live recording on YouTube. It's probably the best live vocal performance I've ever seen of anything. It was insane. So yeah, I'm insanely proud to be from Wales. I did go and watch the England game yesterday, I have to say.
Were you cheering for Holland?
I couldn't. It would have been dangerous.
Yeah, fair enough.
I did go and see Mexico play Wales in a friendly here, and it was a lot of fun, because I wore my Wales shirt, and there must have been 4 of us, and the stadium was full.
Yeah,
and it was amazing. It was amazing banter, and but it's moments like that where you go like, oh, I love this. Actually, there's like a pride that I love, and like I said, that the fact that the music's being played in Wales means the world to me.
And you alluded to Welshness and kind of, normal kind of Welsh people, if you know what I mean, that kind of mundane, kind of everyday thing, So that's great.
I still have all my old friends back in Wales, and that's the like text thread or whatever that's the most grounding, because it's just everyday shit, and that's what I love.
Yes. Yeah, we're good at that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an art form,
We need something to complain about.
Yeah, well, we find a few of those.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Pete, listen, really great chatting to you. Thanks ever so much for doing it. And obviously, I'm gonna have to put this out in segments, so no, I'll get it to you. But and good luck with until Ruben breaks, and good luck with the future. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy, and let's do it again. It's been a real pleasure, and really, really great questions. I do these, and it doesn't often go down these roads, so I really
Oh,
appreciate that.
nice. That's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it fun and it makes it authentic, and so I really appreciate